Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Now, apologies if I sound a little bit funny, or certainly at the beginning my sound seems to be a little bit off what I'm actually videoing, showing you here. I recorded this video maybe a week and a half ago now, and I got all the way through this and then realised I'd never actually switched my microphone on. So although there is video, there was absolutely no sound to it. I know you can roll your eyes at me, but we'll just stoke this up to a very bad day. So, I'm actually recording this separate now as more of a voiceover. I can't remember 100% what I said in the actual speaking of this. So, we're going to play it by what I can see on the video and what I vaguely remember. So, this video was a video of me mass making a load of Christmas cards for my craft fair. And one of the things that I have in abundance that makes a very quick and easy card are the little book offs from Hunky Dory. Now, I absolutely adore them. I think there's so much versatility with these, and I love working with them, but they're not something I always gravitate to. And if I'm honest, I think some of that is because they're on the top shelf of my current craft room. So I think that may have to be something that I change. But I've got quite a few of the Christmas ones. I've got some newer ones from this year, and I've got quite a lot of the older ones, particularly from last year. Picked up quite a few last year. Now, what I did was, I know that looking through those little books, I've gone through them a few times on different videos, so I didn't necessarily feel the need to show you that. But I went through my Christmas books. I have one square book of, and the rest are the standard sort of rectangle little books. And I picked out some of my favourite images of those books. I didn't want to pick out too many, but I definitely went for it on this one. And I then sat down and spent some time backing those onto the Miri card. Now, I buy in the pre-cut, perfect to size Miri card for these. I find it really handy to do. When it comes to the square little book halves, I do only have the rainbow Miri, but when it comes to the normal size, I have the rainbow, the standard silver, and the standard gold. So I went through my little books and picked out my favourite images first of all from each of the books. And then before I backed them onto the Miri card, I decided what colours I wanted to actually back these onto. Now, I don't really use a specific science when it comes to backing them. What I tend to do is look at the image, I look at the tones within that image. So you'll find that they will have either a cool tone or a warm tone. And if it's got a cooler tone, I tend to put those on either the silver or the rainbow Miri. If they're warmer toned, I generally go for the gold. Um, I also look at kind of the colours that are portrayed in that. And if it's got a lot of colours, again, I'll tend to gravitate towards the rainbow Miri because I just feel like it matches so beautifully and just helps to enhance those colours. So I'd spent a lot of time doing that. And what I'm doing here is I'm actually going through my images. One thing I find a little bit difficult, and I do feel like I was a little bit out of practice when I was actually backing these, is getting them in the right place. I do find that you need to get them very specific, otherwise your Miri can be a little bit off. So I'm going through them and deciding which ones I think look nice and which ones I think I'm slightly off. The ones that I do feel I'm off, they won't go to waste. I must admit, I haven't made them into cards yet, but I have put them in a project bag. And what I'll actually do is I will go back, I will trim off the sides that look a little bit bigger than the others, make them even out a little bit, and then I can use them on future cards. So please don't panic, there is no waste here whatsoever. So I'm just going through, I'm making one pile which is my perfect pile, or certainly the usable pile, and then I'm making a pile that I just don't feel make the cut this time, we'll say. So looking at the video right now, the pile that's currently in my hand, sadly, is the pile that I just weren't happy with for various reasons, primarily because they're slightly off. So I've put them to one side and I'll fix those at a later date. These ones are the ones that I think look really good and are the ones that I'm going to make into cards on this video. Now, in terms of pairing these up, because of how beautiful those images are, there isn't a lot that I'm going to use. So I am going to use the Katie Sue Merry Christmas sentiments. I do also have a set of the coloured background Christmas seasonal sentiments, and I believe I'm bringing those in right now. There we go. They again are from Katie Sue. Now, I absolutely love the Katie Sue sentiments. I use them a lot. I have Happy Birthday, I have Merry Christmas, the seasonal ones, Happy Anniversary, and I think they are absolutely fabulous. I buy them in and I use them on an awful lot of my cards. I'd highly recommend picking them up. You can get them direct from Katie Sue. You can also pick them up from Amazon. They're not too much money. But definitely worth having a look at. Now, in terms of putting these onto the cards, I tend to buy in my card blanks. I know some of you don't like that. It's my personal preference. If you love making the card blanks, then please feel free to make the card blanks in advance. I prefer and find it easier to buy them in bulk. These particular ones are the white card blanks. I'm trying to think when I did this video, these card blanks could be one of two. They could either be the last of my Craft UK 5x7 card blanks, or they could be my Crafter's Companion ones. Previously, I've always bought Craft UK card blanks, absolutely love them, got no problem in the quality. However, when I last went to buy them a few weeks ago, their price was really expensive, a lot more than I remember paying. So I did a bit more digging on Amazon, and the Crafter's Companion ones were basically half the price for the same amount of card blanks. So I've bought them on this occasion. I bought 2 packs of 50. I think they were something like £6.99 for the 5x7s. They're really nice quality. Definitely pick those up again, especially if the Craft UK ones are going to be that price regularly. I think they were, I want to say something like £15 for 100 cards. Sorry, no, I think they were about £13-14 for 50 cards. Um, so yeah, I just decided against that. What I'm doing right now is I am splitting these off into their mirror coloured backgrounds. So the pile straight in front of me are the silver and rainbow tones. The ones in the pile I'm now picking up are my gold toned ones. So they're just a little bit warm. As you can see, they tend to be more along the reds, the oranges, the browns, those very warm toned colours. Sometimes I'll also include in there like the royal purples, maybe. It depends on what's going with them. The cool tones, as you can see, tend to be a lot more of the blues. There are some purples in there as well, but generally, look, they've all got that blue background to them that I just feel matches that cooler silver tone. We've got burgundy one there, look on the gold. There's the reds again. We have the green on that one. We do have a blue on there as well. So sometimes I do pair them up, but generally, look, they're a lot warmer. And I'm working with the colours on those mirror, with the little book of images. So now I've sorted out those piles, we're going to start pulling all of this together. So to match with these, now there isn't a huge amount of space, to be fair, between the toppers and what is on my 5x5 card blanks. But I really wanted to add a little bit of backing to these. So I'm going to use some of my cardstock, my paper stock that I've got in. I'm not using Hunky Dory on this occasion. You absolutely can. And feel free to use like the plain colours and that as well. But I really wanted to use up some of my cardstock from the works. So these are, as I say, the 12 by 12 paper pads. Now there's going to be a range of years with these. This particular one that I'm looking at right now that I just cannot make my mind upon apparently is the one of the latest ones from the works. I picked this up a few weeks ago. Absolutely love it. And all I'm doing right now is I'm trying to match the tone and the colour of that backing paper with what I think will work with this particular paper and these toppers. Um, I'm going back to this same one and I'm looking for some more because this is very much a blue purple toned paper pad. And obviously I've got quite a few of the bluer, cooler toned toppers. So one thing I did work out was when I was putting these cards together, I can get 3 of my cards out of each of these 12 by 12 sheets. So as you can see, I can get 2 images out of this portrait, and dependent on the direction of my toppers, I can, and the direction of the paper as well, I can also get one out of this that is landscape. And I am all for trying to make my papers last as long as I possibly can. So I've just gone through another one of the works paper pads and I've picked up this gorgeous blue like tartan one. So because this is a non-directional, I can do my cards in any direction I need them to, and it doesn't matter. I'm not going to have as much wastage on here. And just look at the way that those colours all kind of match despite the fact that they're not from the same brand. I absolutely love it. Here I am, and I'm very indecisive. It looks like I'm sticking with those. Oh, this is where I'm working it out. Sorry, guys. This is a very rubbish voiceover, isn't it? So I'm going to trim all of these down. Now, what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to pause the voiceover right now because I think all I'm really doing on this section, to be honest, is just matching up my papers, picking them out of the works, paper pads, and then cutting them down. So what I do always do, and this is generally my calculations when it comes to doing my mat and layering, and it does differ slightly, and you do what you think is your favourite. There's no rules around this, but I tend to go a quarter of an inch smaller. So because these are 5x7s, and if I remember rightly, I did find that these are very much accurate to 5x7 card blanks. Sometimes they can be a little bit off, but these are pretty good. So what I'm doing is I'm coming in at the 6 3/4 mark and the 4 3/4 mark. So that will give me a it gives me a quarter of an inch both sides. So it gives me like a 1/8 of an inch border around my card blank and still leaves me with a really nice border around the topper and that decorative paper. So I'm going to pause the voiceover right now. I'm going to let you watch this. I will speed it up a little bit because it is just cutting and picking, and I will be back when we are next doing some chatting. And there we go. So what I've done is I've gone through all of those toppers that I've made. I've gone through my 12 by 12 paper pads, all from the work, sorry. As I say, some are from this year, some are from last year. And I've matched up what I think look like really good matches between the backing paper and those toppers. There's a really nice border around them. There's enough to see that decorative paper, but not too much that the toppers um are not being seen, that they're sort of losing that focus. And the next step is just putting those together, to be honest. These are such simple cards. They can absolutely be put together so quickly but look so beautiful. Now, my favorite way is to use double-sided tape. And a lot of you who have been watching my channel for a while will know that my favorite is the Scotch ATG 700. I've had it for a while now. I bet you have. I must have had that for probably a year, if not longer. And when I talk about the ATG, so there's mixed reviews on this. Now, I really like it. There are some pros and cons. One of the biggest pro I find is that in terms of value for money, it's so worth it. It is an investment to begin with. I think I paid about £30 for mine. However, it's totally refillable. You get, I think it's 50 meters of double-sided tape on the rolls. I used to pick that up from Amazon. However, the last time I needed some, my mother-in-law's also got one of these tape guns. She may or may not have been influenced by somebody, and she was looking for some replacement tape for hers, and she found that she could get some direct from a company, and it worked out cheaper than the ones that I was picking up from Amazon. So she picked us up some in bulk last time. I'm working my way through them, and I'm actually using quite a bit of it, particularly for this Christmas prep. But it's just such good value. There isn't as much plastic waste as there is with the little ones. I also used to find them really frustrating because if I was working a project like this, I could go through quite a few of those little mini ones. Whereas for this, I know I'm going to run out on this one because, as you can see, there isn't a huge amount of that tape left, but it I'm only going to refill it once. I'm not going to be grabbing multiple different tape guns to get my way through them. So I'm really pleased with this. I absolutely love it. Now, I believe with this one, I changed my mind on how I'm going to attach my sentiments. So originally, I had planned to use my foam tape. I have some very thin foam tape. However, as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm putting my backing papers on, and then I'm just sitting the toppers on top and then with the sentiment. The reason being was because I was going to use my foam tape. But I've heard and listened to what everybody says about the fact that not everybody wants their cards to be decoupaged up, that not everybody wants that 3D element in there, especially because some people are using these to post them. So I do decide partway through that I'm actually going to use wet glue to attach the sentiments and things so that it keeps this flat so that they are postable for all of my customers. The next few steps are going to be really, really boring. So again, I'm going to jump off the voiceover. Please enjoy while I fast forward this, and I'll join you again soon. And of course, this is where I run out of my tape. Now, lots of people ask me how easy is it to replace this tape cartridge, this tape roll. And here you can see it is really easy. I have done a specific video showing you exactly how to do this, but there's been a few videos where I've needed to replace it. And while I could absolutely cut this out of my video and not show you it, it's an important part of crafting. We do run out of tape sometimes and we need to refill it. And maybe you haven't seen my other videos where I've done that. So you all you do is you open it up, you undo the little cap that I've done. I say little, but the cap that I first take off. I peel off the used bit of the tape, which is that goes on the right hand side on the solid black part of the roller. And then I've taken off the clear white, the clear white, that doesn't work, does it? I've taken off the white inner cartridge bit that sits the full roll of tape. Then you do have to get this in position, and this is probably one of the more difficult parts for me because I'm trying to do it by looking from the side. um, but once you get there, it clips on really, really easily. Here I am, not just trying to get it in the right position. One thing you do have to be careful of is to make sure you don't push too hard, because if you do, you can actually push the white center out. There we go, it's slipped on, look. And if you pull the white center out, it means that it's very difficult for you to use that roll. Then when you're rolling it, when you're looping it over the rollers at the front, so it goes over the first one, it goes under the second one, around the top of the roll that you've put in, and then you attach it to the end one and just spin that until it is tight. Then you pop the cap back on and close it up, and you have fully reloaded your ATG. So super duper quick. And I've now got 50 meters of tape on there to use before it will run out again. So let's carry on with the fast forward. So this is where I've changed my mind on what I'm going to do. So instead of using my foam tape, I'm going to use my wet glue. My favourite is the Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive. I found that recently enough, I think that was earlier this year. Um, I really like this particular glue. You use whatever is your favourite glue. There are a lot of adhesives out there. You can absolutely use whatever you want. If you want to use the foam tape, maybe you're using these to give to friends and family and don't need it to be flat, please feel free. Maybe you have your tape gun and you prefer to use that. Absolutely, use whatever you like. And all I'm doing is I am adding on my topper, and then I'm gluing on my sentiment. I'm putting the sentiments in different positions based on where I think it fits nicely on those cards. And yeah, that's all I'm going to do at this stage. So let's skippity skip again. And there we go. That is it all done. There's a really beautiful pile of cards there. Now, I haven't embellished these, my choice. I don't want to add any additional weight. I don't want to add any additional depth to these. I could potentially add some glitter glue or things if I want to go back and add them, but I'm quite happy with them as they are, if I'm honest. It's a really good pile, a different mixture of toppers, and I think these are going to work so well for all of my customers. The good thing about the Hunky Dory Little Book Offs is that you really don't need a lot to make beautiful cards. Let's take a look at how many I make. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. That's 23 gorgeous cards that we've managed to make today. Absolutely loved putting these together, and I can't wait to make the others up. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Apologies for the voiceover. I hope I've put it in the right places. But I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful rest of your week, and as always, happy crafting.